For most people, your home is your biggest asset, so deciding who to represent you in the sale of that home is extremely important. If you don't know me, my name is Dan Parker, your Carlsbad real estate resource. But this video isn't about me. If you have agents to hire for the job of selling your home, you need to make sure their experience, their negotiation, their sales, and their marketing is top-notch and it's going to get you the best results. And these are the questions I've developed as one of the top agents in San Diego County to ensure that you are selecting the right agent for the job. And I think what will surprise you out of this list, or the last couple of questions I asked, are probably the most overlooked questions that can actually be the most impactful for this sale. So stick around till the end. Starting off, you want to talk about experience and figure out what type of experience that real estate agent has. Now, I can remember back to when I was a brand new agent, and when I actually helped people sell homes, I didn't have a roadmap for success. I worked my butt off to help people at the best of my abilities, but my abilities weren't there yet. And so understanding what experience they have and how that can help you sell your home at a high level, at a high price and high profitability in a smooth transaction is a very good place to start. And the 3 questions you should ask about experience is, how many homes did you sell last year? What is your list price to sale price ratio, which means compared to how much you list your house for, your average house over the course of the last year, what did they end up selling for? So you can ensure that if they're telling you you can get a ton of money, more than your neighbors got for their homes, what is their track record of success based on the list price that they offer? And then question number 3 with experience is it just you, or do you have or work on a team? That way you know, what are they offering? Is it just them, or do you have a whole team to work with? Next up, you want to know, how are they going to help you prepare a home for sale? So before you get your home on the market, what are they doing to make sure that you are set up for success? First, you want to know, how do you determine the list price of our house and what strategy is going in there? For us and for our clients, there are 3 main metrics that we consider every single time we list a home to ensure that the maximum amount of eyeballs are getting seen on that property to get the most people in the door to give us the best opportunity for a high sale on that home. So it kind of comes with some options, but you need to know right up front, how do they determine that list price? And the other part of this question is, how do you prepare my home for sale? Do we need to fix any items up? Can you help walk us through the property and let us know if anything needs to be fixed up, cleaned up, upgraded? Can you actually handle some of those items yourself? And what else do we need to do within our timeline to ensure that we are maximizing the potential for the sale of our house? And the next part that you really want to ask about has to do with the marketing services. Marketing can be key in getting the highest value, the most amount of money for the sale of your house. And how is this real estate agent going to ensure that you get maximum exposure for your home when selling it? Some of the biggest keys right off the bat has to be stunning photos of your property and video marketing. If done right, this can be the biggest game changer in selling your house. And here are the main questions that you need to ask. Number 1, how do you handle photos and virtual tours of the property? What I like to think of is the photographs, yes, professional photographs, but they should be magazine-worthy photographs. This is going to be a huge difference for people that are scrolling through one property to the next. Number 2, how do you plan to market my home and ensure that we are seen by the most amount of potential buyers in this area? Number 3, can you explain in detail how you utilize video marketing in order to help sell my house? And this is one of the biggest things that clients don't end up asking enough about when it comes to selling a house, because a lot of real estate agents and teams out there can talk a big game about how they're going to make this amazing video. But you want to ask specifically, can you show me some examples and the results of that marketing campaign that you utilize? What I tend to find over and over again is a high quality video will be made, but then there's 0 effort or ad spend behind it in order to get it in front of potential buyers in your area. So then what's the point? It's just helping the real estate agent market themselves to other sellers in the area. And number 4 is, do you have any specific tactics to help attract out-of-town buyers? Now, yes, we still have a lot of people leaving San Diego, but the truth is we actually have a net surplus of people in San Diego County because there are more people moving here than there are people leaving on an annual basis. So you want to know, where are those buyers from Silicon Valley, from other high expensive metro areas that are moving to San Diego that can afford and have the desire to buy my house? The next section has to do with being an expert in the area that you live. So do they truly understand your community? So the specific questions to ask here are, what are the average days on market for my community, and how will that impact our plans? This is a big one when thinking about the timeline of selling your house. You can't just go by a broad number expectation of a home selling in a weekend or 2 like we've seen a lot over the last couple of years. What are the specifics of this neighborhood that you're in, and how can we utilize that to help appropriately plan out the timeline and expectations of selling this house. A lot of sellers and real estate agents make rash decisions because they aren't getting the results in the timeline they want instead of seeing the expectation for the area. And then very simply, who are the ideal buyers in this community or looking to move to this community, and how are we going to market to them? And then we start to get into the questions where a lot of sellers are not actually thinking about. This next section has to do with showings and safety. Showings in open houses are a lot more than just opening your door. You want to ensure the safety and the privacy of your property. And a big way to do that is ensure that you are only showing to motivated and qualified buyers. So question number 1 here is very specifically, how are you going to handle showings and open houses to my property while maintaining the privacy and safety of my family? And this one is really important. You want to ensure that they are only showing the home to qualified buyers. Have they seen a pre-approval or proof of funds from that buyer? That shows them that that buyer actually wants to visit the house. This is very important when it comes to the safety of your family. And the other questions to ask are, how do you handle buyer inquiries, and how do you follow up with buyers, or what's your standard for following up with buyers after the showings have happened? The next section has to do with negotiation, and it's imperative that your real estate agent has some good strategies in place, because let me tell you, negotiation is not just what the price comes in at. There are 3 other distinct periods throughout the transaction where a buyer can try and negotiate on the sale price of your home. And knowing this up front means that you can avoid some of the most common pitfalls. Number 1 is going to be, what strategies do you utilize to negotiate the best price with potential buyers out there? And number 2 is going to be, how do you approach negotiations once you're under contract for a property, as far as repair requests and subsequent concessions asked for from the buyers? And then number 3, what do you do with multiple offers? What's your strategy as far as counteroffers and bidding those prices up? What has worked best and hasn't worked best in your experience? Now I have 3 more sections here, and just to give you some insight, if you want the full list of all these questions so you can print it out and ask your real estate agents that you're interviewing up front what all these questions are, I'm going to include a link below, so it makes it very easy for you to get all these questions together without having to come back to this video. The next section has to do with fees, and the fees matter, but understanding what those fees go towards and how or if they're going to help you actually net more money at the sale of your house is the most important question to ask. And a transparent real estate agent is going to have clear answers for you of exactly what you're getting for those commissions. And there are 3 main questions here. Number 1, can you clearly outline the fee structure for you to sell my house? And the reason you ask this is because there are agent commissions, but also some agents and some teams add on some additional fees that are negotiable, but they just add in so that they can get some more income out of the sale of that house. And of course, there's always things that you can point to saying the fee is going towards X or Y, but most real estate agents and teams are just they're going to take that out of their proceeds from the commissions up front. So the main story is here, you don't want extra fees from your real estate agent. So after you figure out what their fee structure looks like, usually it's going to consist of 2 different categories. It's going to be commission split into 2 different categories. It's going to be the buyer agent commission and the listing agent commission. And this is something that could potentially change in the near future, but as of today, as of recording, that's how it is. As far as the commission that goes to the listing agent, you want to see, can you show me the data that shows how much extra your sellers get from the sale of their house based on these fees? Let's see it. Like, how much are they getting over list price on average? And how does that compare to the commissions that you are paying them? Because what's the point of paying a huge commission if it's not going to take weight off your shoulders and put more money in your pocket? So any real estate agent that can't show that to you on paper, it's something that you'd want to question. And the third question is, for the buyer's agent commission, if you are offering one up front, can you show me how in my area buyer's agent commissions affect the sale price of this house? So again, just thinking, somebody's opinion on what a commission can get you is very different from actually looking at the data. What has happened in your community in the recent sales in your area? Because you can easily print out some data to see what's going on there. And this will help you make the best decision on what to offer to get the most money out of the sale. The next step has to do with the service throughout the entire transaction. You are going to sign a listing agreement with that real estate agent that's going to be for a specific time period. Maybe it's going to be for 3 months. Maybe it's going to be for 6 months. Maybe it's going to be for 9 months. And what a lot of people don't ask up front is, what's the communication going to be like during that period of time? The number 1 complaint by far that real estate agents get from their clients is that they are not communicating properly or enough. So what is their standard for communication? So the 2 questions here are, how are you going to keep me informed about the progress of the sale of my home? And number 2 is, how will you personalize the service to meet my needs? And then there's a last section here, which is kind of a bonus I'm calling lasting impressions. And this is really, really crucial. Although we want your home to sell quickly, you want to understand what is going to be their plan B so that you can get peace of mind and understand exactly how the process is going to go. And the first question to ask here is, what will you do if my home doesn't sell quickly? We want every home to sell quickly. We want your home to sell quickly, but it's nice to start to plan what is going to be that plan B. So if it doesn't sell quickly, or if we don't get an offer quickly, do we need to be concerned? At what point will we start making adjustments, or what metrics are you going off of to help us make those decisions? Now, one thing that I like to consider is it takes generally around 10 showings in the San Diego market for every one offer. So if we aren't getting the showings that we like in order to get that single offer, then there are some adjustments that need to be made. But if we are getting the showings, but we're still not getting any offers in, then there might be something on the back end. We need to go back and see what are the buyers that are viewing the house, what's the feedback that they have, because there might be some little tweaks that need to happen that can make some huge changes in the sale of your home. And then the second part of this is, what makes you the best choice for me to sell my home in this market? If a real estate agent can't answer that question of what makes them the best choice, you certainly have a problem here. And lastly, I always like to ask, what sets you apart from other real estate agents? So not just specifically why a seller should select you, but what sets you apart from your competition? You want to know that up front so you know what you're getting. So now you know what to ask. Take the next step. Download our questionnaire, our guide below, so you have this full list of questions to ask your real estate agents that you're interviewing. And if you are looking to sell your home specifically, myself and the Best Life Home team, we would love to be considered. My information is down below.